Tata Curve ka trendsetter SUV ka bawandar kalapoy ha Shillong. One ban test drive ka coupe SUV paningkong ekari ani pila ban phone ki number bala ay harum.
Umentri rang ba Jylla Conrad ki sangma long ba kamden Eiei ne kanu ka Jingiakren naga sarkar halo ka article lais pa nyo puwei ka riti sanchar ka India. Yagani ka jubab halo ka jingkali ka bala wanra du emily ka no chlong ba adalbert nongrum hapo ko yeng dorbar menthaga sngi. Conrad ulong ba ka Jylla ka don ha ka 6 schedule bat kam don ka jingdon kam bandawa ya ka article lais pa nyo puwei henry wat la ka ta ka sarkar kan exmen. Ulong bagi don ki jing mentoy bat ki jing du jing mentoy ha ka 6 schedule bat ka article lais pa nyo puwei. Ha ka 6 schedule ki autonomous district council ki don ka bor light load ban thau ya ka an ka bor bishar bat ka bor ban pendrikam henry ha ka article lais pa nyo puwei kam don yakum gini ki bor. Ulong ba ka article lais pa nyo puwei ka don bun ki kendon ka ba Iapher na Kawei ki Jylla sha Kawei pat bat kum ka Jylla Maharashtra bat Gujarat ka aibor ha ulat ban thau tang ya ka development board bat banyasam ya ka pisa sha ki kinhun ki baper bat kam kdo Eiei halo ka jing pentrai kam ya ki an jong ka sarkar India. Conrad ulong balada ka article lais pa nyo puwei ka long ha Nagaland ka don kam Jingiakren la ban kdo ba emily ka nongkrem uba aden melo basau moit ulawanra ya ka ni kamat hagis nem ki baladep hagi yung dorbar hende ki yung dorbar kalakan tait modor haba wanra jingkali halo kani uba adalbert ulong palada ka Jylla ka yo ya ka article lais pa nyo puwei kala ban yada kum ya ka uniform civil code ne ka UCC pa ya ki beki an jong ka sarkar India. Henry Conrad ulong baka sarkar Jylla kan yang persya ya ka UCC lada ka khnyot ya ka riti ka dustur ka hok jogi pait ba bat ya ka jinglong tenrai jong Jylla. Ka UCC ka bapa sa po Uttarakhand la plat ya ki riulum na ki kendon jong ka UCC bat kani ka kam ka don kam Jingiakren khamha. Nakalyang unong ilam kalyang persya u Dr. Mukul Sangma ulong baka 6 schedule kala nang klein ha ka jing penkrea ban penkala ya ka 6 schedule ha ka babun ki subject ka sarkar Jylla ru la IT sha ki 6 schedule bat ka badon kam kalong ban wanra biang ya ka para 12A bat B kumba kalong menchwa kanang baki an bala thau de ki district council kin num cha dain ha ka sarkar Jylla.
Mr. Speaker, sir, to the Chief Minister, is this. Does the government consider that having special provision for the state of Meghalaya under Article 371, it will bring protection for the people of the state from the operations of laws like Uniform Civil Code and other central laws which come into conflict with our religious and social practices, our customary law, our administration of justice as per customary law, and our customary land right. So may I get your reply, sir?
Sir, of course, this goes beyond the purview of the question, but since it is an important subject and of important concern for the people, sir, without going into too much of debate, because this is a very, very large topic to be debated, sir, there are pros and cons of 6th schedule, and there are pros and cons of Article 371. Sir, if you look at the 6th schedule areas, so there are provisions of having a legislature wing, an executive wing, and a judiciary wing, whereas Article 371 does not have those provisions. So the question is, the current system where the district councils are having their own power to legislate, are having a judiciary, are also having executive, compared to a 371 which will not have, is a matter that one will need to discuss and debate. Sir, Article 371 also has got multiple forms. It is not that Article 371 is the same for all the states. If you go towards aspects of Article 371 in different states, like for example, so there are many states that have got Article 371, and if you go into those aspects, so Article 371 grants special responsibility for governor in Maharashtra and Gujarat establishment of separate development boards for Vidarbha, Marathwada, Saurashtra and Kutch, and for ensuring equitable allocation of funds and opportunities for these regions. This Article 371 does not mention anything about protection or not having to implement central laws. My point being, sir, that no 371 is uniform. For different states, there's a different Article 371 with different provisions. And hence, today, if you say that, the provisions that are there in Nagaland, because this one is referring to Nagaland provisions, specifically be there, then that is a matter that we have to discuss and debate. But as I said, so my point being, it's a question of really looking at this entire picture. You have the 6 scheduled areas where there is a legislature wing, there's a judiciary wing, and there's a an executive wing, which does not exist in the 71. Now, what do we prefer? So I don't think it's a right forum for us to discuss all of this. It's a huge debate, sir. I mean, I think question hour will not do justice to it, and I can already see Elo looking at me, saying very specific to the question. So this is a large debate which needs to be discussed more in detail. But coming to the point of the Uniform Civil Code. Sir, again, it's a very, very large topic. So one has to be very clear that a Uniform Civil Code is a law that state governments pass or governments pass in order to create a certain uniformity in the civil process in the society.
Yeah, that answers
Yes, sir.
to the question.
Yes, sir. The question is what kind of uniformity in what code that you are wanting. So really, the question is about the bill and about the content of that particular law that is coming in. If you look at the law that has been passed by the Universal Civil Code passed by the Uttarakhand government, they specifically mention in that particular act that the tribal laws and tribal customs and cultures will be exempted from the provisions of the Uniform Civil Code. So therefore, sir, it is a matter of, as I said, details, generalizing it and putting it in the larger context, and then generalizing will not give us a real picture. So therefore, sir, this answer is very, as I said, complicated to give to reply. But as I said, it's a question of debate, number one, between 6th Schedule 371, which is a very large debate. I've given small salient features of why this is slightly complicated. And of course, we are right now enjoying the benefits of the 6th Schedule area with very, very specific powers to legislate. At the same time, as I said, Uniform Civil Code, not something that is right now in the in the horizon for Meghalaya. We are very clear. There's no question of bringing in Uniform Civil Code in our state or adopting anything in that line. We are also very clear that if there is any move to make a Uniform Civil Code that is going to in any way dilute the powers, dilute the customs and rights of the tribal people, then that is unacceptable to the people of our state and to the governments.
Yes, Dr. Mukul Sangma, please.
Mr. Speaker, sir. The question, the start question number 28, if you look at the question itself, will the Chief Minister be pleased to state whether any discussion has been made by the state government on the subject, proposing some provisions related to Meghalaya under the Article 371 of the Indian Constitution? If we recollect, we did discuss this issue in this August House, but that discussion was based on the resolution tabled by one of the honorable members of this August House, and we had an elaborate discussion on these. I think it will be in the fitness of things, because it is important for us also to know about how we are protected by the provision as mandated under the 6th Schedule of the Constitution of India. If you look at Para 12A, B, you will see that, in fact, let me put it that way, since for the purpose of amendment, Parliament has resorted to amending the provision of the 6th Schedule of the Constitution of India number of times. In fact, certain power which was vested to the states have been quietly taken away also. Because if we read Para 12AB, we see that. Earlier, there is power to resign in respect of application of any law enacted by Parliament was vested with the governor. This has been taken to precedent. So I think in order to enlighten, so that the society is enlightened about the provision of the Constitution, vis-a-vis the 6th schedule of the Constitution and Article 371, because this debate is coming up, So I think it is only good that our people really have a complete clarity. Otherwise, I'm afraid people will be misguided. There is an
Your question, please.
of weaponizing this also
Yes.
as a political weapon. Therefore, I would urge, since this was debated in this line only in this Augustus earlier, I would urge the government, let us have a discussion so that people will know the difference between the mandate of Article 371 and the mandate of 6th schedule of the Constitution. And based on that, if there is any further issue which should be flagged before the government of India, since the 6th schedule of the Constitution of India is under the consideration of amendment, I think this para 12AB must be restored to the original one. I think this is one very important part. Then the state is in a position to apprise government of India about whether the law passed by Parliament at any time of at any point of time can be applicable or should be adopted in the state or not. Let the power be vested to the state. I think there is scope for this discussion for creating an enlightened society.
So
it
your
will
que-
help all of us.
your
So may I
question
suggest, and may I request the CM to take note of this, because earlier in the reply also it was in a similar kind, Mr. Speaker, sir.
So we'll definitely examine it in a very positive